Hey guys, Ennis here with Whiteacre Properties. If you are new to our channel, I want to go over really quick about what we do. What is Whiteacre all about? So we are in Greater Boston area. When we buy properties to fix and flip, we buy properties to renovate. So in this channel, we want to share everything that we do so you guys can take a look and peek behind the scenes of what a real estate investment company really looks like. Today I'm in Hopkinton. It's a fix and flip property that we bought. It's a split level house that we're buying, renovating, putting back on the market in the next 3 to 4 months. What I'm gonna cover in this video is how much we paid for it and how we came up with the cash offer, the problems that we solved for the homeowner and why they decided to work with us instead of another investor or list it on the market. We're gonna talk about 3 mistakes that we have continuously made in the beginning. So 3 mistakes to avoid on a fix and flip. And we're going to talk about our rehab budget here and also the scope of work. What are we renovating, why we're leaving some things untouched and why we're renovating certain things. So the thought process about our rehab plan here. And finally, the lessons learned. So far, there's been a couple of things that didn't go as planned, and I want to share that with you guys because that's actually the main goal of our channel, is really to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the lesson learned is something I want to share to save you guys time and money. So let's go inside, take a look at what 4 Priscilla Road looks like. All right, guys, so follow me. Let's go inside. Come on in. So this is a split level house, and as you guys notice, we just started construction, so it's raw. It's definitely at the beginning stages of the renovations, but let's talk about first how we found the property. If you guys have been following me, you know that I'm big on direct-to-seller marketing, and I'm interested in reaching out to people actually that haven't put the house on the market. Anything that's on the MLS, it's something that gets a lot of attention from everybody. So we want to reach out to people that haven't put the house on the MLS. So we do a lot of direct mail, we do a lot of cold calling, we get the leads from our online website. And this particular property came from a direct mail. Mark, our acquisition manager, went out and met with the homeowner, and pretty much they showed interest in selling. They didn't want to put the house on the market, and the property itself needed work. So Mark sat down with them and went over the benefit of what Whiteacre has to offer. And typically what we offer homeowners is an as-is purchase, close on the date they like, leave everything behind so it doesn't have to be broom clean or anything. We'll take care of the smoke detector inspections and silly things like that that usually a homeowner has to do during a regular MLS listing. Basically making it extremely convenient, and they loved that. They had an RV already in the driveway if they wanted out of here and they wanted to go north. I think it was either New Hampshire or Maine, and so they already had made plans. I believe they were looking somewhere between $375,000 and maybe $385,000, if I remember correctly. That was their expectation for the sale price, and we wanted to be in the $320,000 range. All right, so guys, again, how we came up with our offer price here in Hopkinton and why we offered $322,000. We always follow the 70% rule when we can. Sometimes we break that rule depending on how excited we are about a certain property. Sometimes emotions get in the way, but we want to stick with our 70% rule as much as possible. And to be completely honest, sometimes we also go up to 75%. Again, if we see potential in a certain area or in a certain deal. But the 70% rule, what that stands for, it's a formula, and it's ARV times 70% minus repairs. ARV stands for after repair value. And in this particular case, our ARV was $560,000 times 70% minus repairs of $70,000. And that gave me an offer price, a maximum offer price of $322,000. And Mark, our acquisition manager, that's the offer that he gave to the homeowners, and they accepted it. So that's exactly how we ran the numbers, and that's why we paid $322,000. Again, buying at the 70% rule will allow us to make a profit even if we mess up other things, even if our rehab goes a little higher, which always does, or if there's other unexpected things that happen during the renovation, that margin of 30% there, it helps us to make a decent profit every single time. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys is the reason why the homeowner actually decided to work with us. And that reason is simply the ease of transaction. Whenever we submit an offer, it's a cash offer usually, and what that means is there's no mortgages behind it, there's no banks behind it, so there's no contingency for financing on our offer. And the homeowners like that because they know and we guarantee them that we're going to close on the purchase. So it's a cash offer, it's an as-is transaction, meaning we're not going to come in and do inspections left and right and come back with a list of repairs. We do a walkthrough one time, and that is pretty much all we do as far as inspections. You know, our acquisition manager, Mark, takes a bunch of photos, he shares that with me, and that's how I calculate the offer, but there's really no inspections here. It's an as-is offer, which gives the seller peace of mind. Again, makes the whole selling process extremely easy. When you are listing on the MLS and you have a buyer that's coming in to buy the property, they want to make sure the property is good, so they do an inspection, and sometimes they come back with a long list of repairs. And so there is cost there, and there is uncertainty there that a buyer might not buy it because of the amount of work needed. Here, they had mold in the lower level. When you get mold on the property, a lot of people get scared. With us, it's totally different. When we see mold, actually, we love it because we know there's potential here to put a deal together and make money, because we can fix any issues when it comes to mold, make the property nice again, get rid of the mold, and have everything brand new. So that was the reason. The as-is offer, the cash offer, let the sellers close on their timeline. That's huge. They already had an RV already parked. I believe they were buying a house in New Hampshire, so they were already planning to get out of here, and giving them the timeline, and they controlled the closing date. We could close in a week, or we could close in 3 months. That was very important to them because, again, it gives them peace of mind to plan according to their schedule. And the last thing I believe here that was important to them was the fact that we're going to buy with whatever they left behind. So we tell people, take what you want, leave what you don't. You don't sweep, don't mop. It doesn't have to be broom clean in any way. It doesn't really matter to us. Just take what's valuable to you. Sign the deed at the closing with the attorney, give us the keys, and that's pretty much the process. It's extremely easy, and they like that. So that's why they gave us a break on price, and they gave us a good deal, and was a win-win all around. So it's not always about the price. It has to be a win-win. They mentioned, they talk about what's important to them, right? The homeowner discusses with us what's valuable to them, and it's not always about price. It's also about all the other benefits that I just mentioned. So let's talk about the rehab budget and the scope of work here, guys. When we bought the property, homeowner was here, there was a bunch of stuff in the house. It's really hard to figure out everything from day one, when actually, even before we bought the property, but once we got all the junk out of here, and we realized that kitchen and bathrooms is what we were gonna focus on. This house has 2 bathrooms, one upstairs, one in the lower level here where I'm staying, and then the kitchen in the upper level. The kitchen itself felt very small because we had an L-shaped wall that was closing the whole space. So one decision for us right there was to take that wall down and create an open living space between the kitchen, living, and dining. And if you have watched some of my videos, and if you don't, please go back and watch them, I always try to create an open floor plan because that's what the end buyer actually is looking for. Always keep the end buyer in mind. What does your end customer actually wants? And in this suburb, in this area, and in Boston in particular, it's always open concept floor plans. So now we're gonna do new electric, new plumbing. We're gonna put a kitchen in there with new cabinets, new islands, and pretty much everything brand new. Same thing in the bathroom. We had to take the old tile out because it was the original 1960. The tub itself was plastic surround, so we had to take that out, and usually we do subway tile for a nice and fresh look. And then the bathroom here on the lower level, same thing. It just was very outdated. So bathrooms and kitchens are typically what the homeowner or an end buyer, I should say, cares about. So we put more money into that. However, we keeping the hardwood floors. We are not gutting the whole property because it's really doesn't add any value. The drywall is nice. We're just going to refinish the floors. and we're gonna paint the walls. We're keeping the windows because they're in good shape overall. I believe we have 2 windows in the garage and maybe a couple sliding doors that we're replacing, but everything else is gonna stay, just to keep costs down, because everything gets so expensive. And then down here on the lower level, the scope of work extends a little bit because we are gutting half of the space. And the reason why we're gutting it is because we have mold. If you guys look at these rooms, we got some water from the exterior coming in, and the carpet got soaked. The studs here are actually with black mold, so we have to clean up all of that. And that's one of the lessons learned here I'm going to share with you guys in a minute, so don't go anywhere, stick around for the lessons learned. On the exterior, we are going to paint the exterior. We're going to change the garage doors, we're going to fix the deck and paint it, and then we're going to put, I believe, a new condenser, because what we currently have is just gone. It's way too old and rusted. We have to do some exterior work to fix the water issue that I just mentioned. So the mold was caused from water coming in through the foundation, so we had to dig on the exterior. We got to put a French drain, we got to paint that foundation with a waterproof material. Again, finding any way possible not to let the water come in, because we don't want to fix this place up, make it beautiful, and then the water finds its way in, 2, 3, 6 months down the road when the new owner has moved in. So we got about $10,000 in outside masonry work to fix, the patio on the back, the front water issue. I believe all in all, we're going to be just shy of $100,000. Our plan was to be somewhere in around 70 to 80,000. But once we got in here, we realized the mold issue and some other things that we didn't expect. Now that rehab budget bumped to $100,000 because we bought right. Because as I mentioned, we use the 70% rule. There is enough margin there for mistakes like this. Right? If we go up on our rehab budget, allows us to still make a profit. So guys, my favorite part of this video is actually when I share lessons learned. So it's obviously to help you out and you can learn from our mistakes, saves you time and money, but also to remind me, because sometimes we get into the moment and staying busy in the business and we forget this lessons learned as we go from one property to the next, and we fix and flip and build, and sometimes I forget about this lesson. So it's important for me also to be reminded. Lessons learned on this one so far, because we just started, we're only a month into it. There's 2 things that come to mind. Solar panels. We never really bought a house with a solar panel in it, so this is the first time, and unfortunately we have to change the roof. We have to replace the roof that we have on this property, and this house came with solar panels, so we have to take the solar panels out, fix the roof and put new shingles, and then put the solar panels back. I had no idea, and I thought that actually that cost get covered by the solar company, but the solar company wants to charge us $250 per panel for them to come take it down, for us to do the roof, and then put it back up. And I believe we have 30 panels. So that will cost us $7,500. That actually wasn't part of the budget. So next time around, and again, you guys keep this in mind, if you have a property with solar panels and you have to change the roof, there is an extra cost that you have to pay for. The solar panel company is not going to pay for it. I guess it's on the homeowner to do that. And then the second is mold. We knew when we did the walkthrough there is some issue here with water because the carpets were soaked. There were some signs on the bottom baseboard. You could see the black mold. You can see the marks of water. And if it's on the lower level, that's definitely water coming in. So you got to be really careful there with the budget. So the mistake I did here was actually to put a small budget. I believe I had only like $5,000 to address the water issue. And it's more than that. It's going to be close to $13,000 or so because we did cut all the drywall, as you guys noticed. So now not only the cost of new drywall and insulation, but we also have the exterior work that I mentioned to put a French drain and pretty much fix the exterior so there's no water coming in. When you see water in the basement, make sure that you understand exactly where it's coming from and run those numbers accordingly. Guys, if you think this is good stuff that you are enjoying and you learning from, share, like, subscribe. It's really going to help me out to push this to a lot more people. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.